Hello, Grigory from Dataplicity, and now it's time to finish our front-end application, make it beautiful and fully functionable. Let's go coding. Let's make available our task creation form for the other stages. Just copy it and change the stage variable name. Next, I want to show tasks we have in the main page of our application. For that, let's create the separate element for the task, just name it task.view. And inside of it, let's create some simple template. We need a task container. Inside of that, let's place another container with name of task internals. You will see after a while why. And inside of that internals, let's place our task data. His name, his description, and so on. But first of all, let's get the task data using the props keyword. And inside of internals, we will put the task.name, task.description, buttons for editing the task and for deleting it. For now, they will do nothing, just they will be here. We don't need to put the stage of the task here, as our stage of the task will depend on the place where in our board the task is located. And in the left part of our task, I want to put the priority strip. The vertical strip, the color of which will be dependent of our task priority. So that's why I put another parameters of the task inside of the task internals container to put our priority strip besides all of that. Next, we add here some very interesting function about our style. What you see here means that if our task priority is equals to low, our background color of our priority strip will be green. Yes, that hex number is green in our case. Else, if our task priority is equals to medium, that color will be blue. And else, the color will be red. And next, let's add also some common style for our task. Let's add the background color for our container. Add some margin from other task. Add float right for our priority strip to set it besides of rest of the data. Specify height and width of the strip. Also, we need to specify width and height of our task container. And now let's import the task component inside of our main page. And now we will do the interesting thing.
Inside of our template, under every stage, let's add the list of our tasks. It will be usual HTML UL list. Inside of lead directive, let's place a v-for loop for iterate through our tasks. It also requires key that will be ID of our task. And inside of that, let's place our task, inside of which we need to provide the JSON with the task parameters for our props.
And we can see some tasks have been created. Maybe that task not looking so nice and beautiful, but we're gonna to improve it now. First of all, let's define style for our list. And inside that, let's provide the list style property. That means that in the left side of our task will be no any dots or any other symbols. Next, let's define style for the task internals. Here we will define the width of our internals. Width will be 380 pixels. It will be 20 pixels less than width of our task container. Inside of that container also let's provide the radius and shadow to make it look better. Now you can see that shadow appears and we have also rounded corners. Also we need to round corners of our strip not all of them, but only external ones. And now you can see that our task is looking much better. Good. We can create another one with another priority, and we can see that we have another color of the priority strip. But now, if you try to create a new task under the in progress stage, after his creation, the task will appear anyway under the to do stage. The reason for it is that we have only a single list with task that is defined under the to do stage. To improve it, we will use the computed property, and inside that we will divide our single monolith task list into the 3 task lists with different stages. So let's define the task td list, inside of which we will filter the task list with parameter task stage is equals to td. And similar we will do with 2 other lists. Okay, now let's put them into the template. And now you can see that our task 5 has moved to the in progress stage. Beautiful. Also, we can try to create some task under the done stage. And it also appears in the right place. Now, let's make the edit and delete buttons alive and working. First of all, let's start from the delete button. Let's create the delete method. Also, let's paste here our imports. And let's paste the store setup. Inside the delete method, let's make a delete request to our URL and use the task ID number. And as previously, let's provide the authentication data here. This time I didn't forget to take it from the store. Let's also catch error. And here we need to emit the refresh task signal to our main page to make it refresh after the task is deleted. Otherwise, we will still see the deleted task in our board. Let's also complete the emits property. Oh, I put the catch expression in the wrong place. It should be here. And let's activate the delete function on the button click. Okay, another button. Some authentication error, but as I said this time, I put proper username and password. Okay, it was just typo in the word password. And for sure we need to emit the refresh task signal inside of the try statement. And also inside of every task we have in the main page, we need to paste statement of our tasks refreshing. That way, after deleting the task, we can get all our tasks one more time. Let's try to delete task one more time, and voila! It's working and page refreshing after that. Super. Now it's time to create the form for the addition of our existing tasks. As task creation form and task addition form will be kind of similar, we'll just copy the task creation form and we'll change that's name. Okay, let's open it. And here, first of all, let's clear the content of data field. In props, let's add the task props, the JSON with the information about our task. Also, obviously, let's change the function name to edit task. And our request, let's change to the put type request. At the end of the URL that we will send our request, we need to add the ID of the editing task. And also the content of body of our request will be taken from our props from the task array. It means data we get from the main page will be provided here in the body of our request. Okay, that's all here. Let's delete that name and description cleaning lines. We don't need them. In the template, we need to tie our fields with the data of our task JSON. So every time we write in something in our fields of editing form, we also change in the JSON parameters. Let's copy our priority dropdown and let's change its name to the stage dropdown. And obviously here will be also 3 stages: to do, in progress, and done. Also, let's change the writing on the submit button. And let's add our edition form to our task. So first of all, let's import it here. Let's also initialize it in the components field. And let's add it at the end of the template. As the props, we need to provide task JSON. And also let's listen to the refresh task signal, and if it will appear in our task edition form, we'll need to re-emit it up to our main page. Let's also add the comma after the components field, and let's see. We have some ugly edition form at the bottom of our task, and if we will edit its field, our tasks field also edited. Now let's make it look better. To make it look better, let's make it possible to toggle content of our task and our task edition form. To make it possible, let's provide in the data field the editing boolean, which will mean if we are editing now our task or not. Let's provide here the edit task method, and if that method is activated, our editing boolean is switching to true. Let's also make our edit button activate that function. And inside of our template, we need to also provide the if toggler. That sentence means that if the editing boolean will be false, our task content will be shown. But if it will be true, the VS directive will work and it will show our task edition form. Also, we need comma after the data field. And you can see by pressing edit button, we can toggle our task to the edit mode. Now let's make work the edition confirmation. Also here, when task refresh signal is emitted by our task edition form, let's add additional line that will change our editing boolean back to false. That's why we will show the task view back after submitting the edit. Okay, let's try it now. Let's edit the description. Okay, it could be submitted and we can see that task is successfully edited. Let's create new task, walk the dog. Let's edit it, add here description. Description is successfully added. We can also change the priority and the color of priority strip is changing. But when we try to change the stage of task, the strange things happen. Task changes his position immediately, even before the submitting form. But after the refreshing page, we can see that task is still on his original place. That happens because when we change in the stage value of our drop-down list, that value changes even before we have a chance to submit form and to send the request to our API to in fact change that form stage. So our visual part is changed, but API stays the same. To resolve it, we need to provide the stage variable inside of our task edition form, which by default will be equals to our task stage from the task JSON data. In our request, let's send as a stage that variable, not the value from JSON. And in our template also let's show that variable. That variable will be buffer that will prevent our task from slipping away before form will be submitted. Okay, let's try it now. And we can see we can edit the task stage, submit the form, and after the form submission, our task changing his position. Let's also change the name inside of the edition form. Edit task mode create task should be here. And now guys, our application is ready and have all the functionalities. Let's make some manual tests. For example, let's create a couple of tasks. Clean the room with low priority. Make the homework. Now let's edit the clean the room task. When half of the room cleaned, we need to move it to the in progress stage. And after the all room will be cleaned, the task will be done. We can also create task inside of the in progress stage. And we can also delete some unnecessary tasks. Good. After 4 tutorial videos, we finally have our application ready and working. Guys, I was very excited to create that videos for you. Please write me in the commentaries what did you like and what you didn't in that videos and what do you propose to improve in future. It's very important for me to create better content for you. And see you next time. Ciao!